Welcome, welcome. Well, thank you again for joining um, today's session. It's um it's always a great pleasure, you know, sharing, debating, and discussing with you because I always learn new things, and I'm sure that our discussion also adds something to your knowledge. Today we will be discussing about the topic the role of women in building strong households in Africa and how are global changes influencing this. And I think this is a kind of controversial topic today because of different political streams. But nevertheless, this is something that is real, and at some point, sooner or later, we need to discuss it to be able also to really get a better understanding of the topic. So I would like quickly to remind us all that this English club is supposed to be a safe, respectful space for sharing ideas, right? Where we are gonna explore different perspectives without judgment, without, especially for such topics, without being in, like, I'm expecting from us all to be really open-minded and not to be into judgment, right? That being said, could you guys describe in a few words what makes, in your opinion, a household strong?
If I'm to say something, then I can go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. According to me, there are many things that makes a household strong. Whether you, I mean, it's true that some people will say it depends on your preferences also on what you like and so on. But I personally think that what makes a household strong is sustainable happiness and continual growth. Yes, sustainable happiness and continual growth. So either from children, either from spouses, if you are happy sustainably and you grow continually, maybe you live from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, that's something that is strong and that should be celebrated every time. So for me, that's how I define a strong household.
Great, wonderful, great insight. And yeah, I really like when how you put it, saying if you move from maybe zero from to one, and because this concept of going together, in my opinion, is really interesting. So, Buchomekwa, do you have anything to share in one word? What makes a household strong?
Okay, thank you very much. Uh, Good evening, coach. Good evening, all. I'm very happy to join me to you this evening. I really like this theme for this evening. If if I take my example, my wife playing a big role in my life.
Mhm.
If I'm sad, she console me. If I have a problem, I share the problem with them. She helped me to have a solution of my problem. The last time I have a problem with my boss in work, she gave me the idea to resolve this problem. If I don't have money, she give me money. So my wife is my confidence. My wife is my sister, is my mother. Uh, she have a lot of place in my life. So if I hear today, my wife, uh, my wife is very important for the results who I have today. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I I I mean it's a shame that there is only one woman attending this English club, because the feedback I hear from women in general, men like you, are difficult to find today. Men who really acknowledge the role their wife play in their life, how supportive they are, what they bring, what they add to you, that you see her as a person you could lean on, right? Who is always supportive, giving you advice, and going together with you, supporting you, even in a hard time. And this beyond simply, in my opinion, right? Beyond simply talking about the role of a woman in the household, in making the household strong, this is also like a testimony of the role she plays in your life. So for me, this is really positive, and I liked what you said, and I will say later on why, because I think that is what is normal, what should be normal, that in the household both partners, they support each other, right? So Josue, what are your thoughts about that?
Uh, in addition to what I said before, I will say one of the most important thing is the respect in a couple. We we should have respect for each other. We should respect the education, the culture, and we should share the same vision, because I think that if you don't have the same vision with your partner, it will be very difficult to work together and to achieve the goal of your life. That's all.
Great. And I think that we mutual respect is critical, because today, um, actually, there is there is one aspect of me you don't know. I am someone who is known for giving advice, good advice to people. So it's like a sort of counseling or consulting where people will call me every time for different things to like get my opinion, my advice. And one thing I hear often is that in many households, especially in young households, there is this concept of respect that sometimes make like there are a lot of women who will tell you that they don't feel respected by their spouse, their partner. And in the same time, most men will also say that the woman doesn't respect them. So it means that, first of all, what is our definition of a respect? And also, you touched an important point, which is about the difference of education, background, and you also talked about the vision. So, for me, all those things are, are actually true, right? There are things that together will create a strong relationship, a strong household. Now, I want us to go back a little bit and talk about respect. What does respect mean to you as a man, and what does respect means to a woman? And in my opinion, it's important to acknowledge that men and women might not see the world the same way. Like we don't see the things the same way. That is clear. So, as a man, how do you define respect? How would you like to be treated? Like to be what behavior would you consider as irrespectful coming from your partner, or what behavior would you consider as respectful as a man? Could you, Josue, could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I don't know if there is a typical behavior that I I can mention right now, but when you have a partner, you have your wife, I think that there there are a little thing that she should do, or she should inform you before doing something. Because first at all, I think that you you have mm, you are I don't want to say that you are a man, but uh, she should consult you before doing something. It's not that she she has to to take your authorization before doing that, but you have to be informed before she has to do it. Because when she does something and this thing has some consequence after, you are the first person to whom she will go and ask some help. And for me, it's very important that you will know what you want to do before do it. And it will be very easy for you to satisfy when consequences come after.
Hmm. So, if I could summarize what you said, is that she need to show consideration, and because you are the leader of the household, she has to consult you before doing things. That is what you put in respect, right?
Yes.
Okay. But now the question is the inverse. I guess the inverse is also right. Like, how often do you consult her? Do you at least, do you at all consult her when you want to take decision? Because I I think that the respect is reciprocal, right? So don't ask someone to do something that you are not willing to do yourself. And it is true that a lot, I don't want to say most, but a lot of men do not consult their wife when they want to take decisions. Do you at least agree with me on that?
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay. Then, when you do not consult your wife, for instance, when you want to do something, is it fair that you expect she consults you before doing things? Just because you are the leader of the household? This is just a question. What do you truly think about this? I will call it double standard. Is it something that is fair? That is, I don't want to say right, because the definition of right and wrong also is not universal, right? But as a human being, is it fair to expect something and attention that you are not either willing or able to give yourself?
Uh, it's not fair, but sometimes it come like that.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
yes, that's why we women we should learn what leadership means, because leadership is not only at work, it's also in our family, and we we should know what skills we have to develop to and how we should manage our wife or our children to have a strong household. It's not easy, and sometimes for me, I think that our education in Africa don't show us that side of leadership because we assume that mm, men in the household is the leader and he is the only person who has the last word and he take all the decision and the wife has not always what to say to resolve the problem. So sometimes our education is not to uh, doesn't allow us always to share our decision or our vision with our wife, and we suppose that she just had to be behind the men and just follow the the others.
Hmm. Okay, this is very interesting. Although I do not fully agree with what you said, part of what you said, saying that in our African society, it it doesn't have to deal necessarily with African society, because s- I would I would tell you that even in some Eastern societies, like Arabic society, it's even worse. Do you know that what we are saying, like in Africa, like, okay, well, the man is the leader and the woman doesn't have that much weight in the decisions? In Arabic society is even worse. I'm telling you, because it has also a religious foundation where the woman, by the religion, John, is supposed to be submissive, totally submissive. So this is where I did not totally agree with you that it is not something that is specific to Africa. And it's only from my knowledge, in Western societies, and by Western society, I mean just Europe and Northern America, that you really have this a situation where men and women, they within the household, they have the same weight. I don't want to say right, because for me, I think that everyone has the same right as a human being. Whether you are a woman or a man, you have the same right, right? But now, how there is the concept of also of roles, functional roles in the um, household, or even in the at the workplace. That is important also to acknowledge, since even biologically we are not built the same way. So I think this is not discrimination, but this is my opinion, right? So let's move further. I noticed that from everything you guys said about what makes a household strong, no one mentioned love. I was not expecting that. Why? Since a relationship, a romantic relationship, I would say a household is not a friendship, right? It's a romantic relationship that uh, uh, leads you to create your household, your family. But why none of you mentioned love? Does it mean that love is not important, or love doesn't um, play any significant role in maintaining the strength of your relationship? Is that what it means? Adeline, what do you think about that? I think Adeline is not there. So Buchomekpo,
Yeah, coach.
yes. So as I said, I was surprised that none of you guys mentioned love as a significant factor that contributes, that makes a household strong. And I was not, oh, honestly, I was not expecting that. So how come? Could you? Why does it mean that love is not important in relationship?
Thank you very much for the question. For my for my little experience, the love is not only important in the relation. In the relation, the the thing who is very important is the 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 complementary. Is the behavior of the two partners. Uh, the second thing is the purpose who the partners have for for their lives. The love is not very important to achieve the goals of the family. The same who is very important is the complementary. Thank you.
Okay, so according to you, love is not the most important factor. Complementarity is important. The vision is important. I think that John mentioned vision before. So it means that maybe we wasted our time and energy pursuing something that is not that much relevant in in the quality of a relationship we build. So I this reminds me a song from the French singer Francis Cabrel. He has a song where he said that today everyone talks about love, 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 love. But the reality is that our ancestors, our grandparents, they didn't care about that word, but still their relationships seems to be uh, stronger actually than and long lasting compared to what we experience today. And this also is in line with other people who think that love is just a commercial concept that people created just to sell stuffs, to sell products, to sell different things, flowers, perfume, for the restaurants also to make money and all those things. But is it true? I think that objectively, no one can say that. I think it still play a big role, but it's not enough, right? So now uh, we we will talk about traditional roles of women versus men in in Africa, like in African societies, so that we later on we could be able to link what is the contribution of each partner in the strength and the stability of the household. Because in my opinion, since we are African, if we don't put things in within a specific context, we might apply strategies, we might take decisions that will not really be beneficial, because the the base the base is not already good. Welcome, versus line.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm shining of energy.
I see that.
Welcome. Thanks for
I
joining us.
apologize, I'm late.
Yes, I guess the time, like you had probably something. I think that you have started something these last weeks, right? So that,
Of course.
yeah, I noticed that. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Today we are discussing about the role of women in building strong households in Africa and how our global changes is influencing this. So we started by really what makes a household strong, and there were very good ideas that we are exploring right now. And then
Okay.
we are at the step where we are talking about the traditional roles of women versus men in the household, put in the context of our African societies. So, according to
Okay.
you, what are the roles of the traditional roles? And by traditional, I I don't mean something bad, right? I don't mean something that is not modern, but I mean the way our society is built based on our core values. What, in your opinion, from your knowledge, from your experience, what are the roles of the traditional roles of women and men within the household in African
Are
societies?
you asking me a question?
Yes, yeah, I
Okay.
am.
I will say that when I was born and I can talk about what I saw with my grandmother, with my mother, and with my aunt. The traditional roles of woman is cook, take care of child, and help her man or her husband in a little decision at home. That's why I think, and that's why I saw. But after that, women have had not another role
Okay.
much than that.
Hmm. Are you sure of that?
Yes.
Okay. So according to you, the roles of women in within the
In
house,
our traditional African.
yeah. So it's
Okay.
to nurture, raise children, and let's say support the family, doing things at home chores, and managing the household, right? So for you, these are the traditional roles of the.
Yes.
Okay, good. And what about the traditional roles of men from your experience?
Hmm. Hmm. Sup- support our family. It the role of men. It's up. Came back home with money. I don't know how to say that.
To provide for the family, to
Yes, to
uh,
provide.
yeah.
To provide.
Mhm. And
You know that our traditional family in Africa didn't know about emotional support, and also who we know today. It's not like that in our father and mother time. It is not like that.
hmm, so
Yes,
do you the so are you saying that um in the past there
yes.
there were no emotional involvement of the partners, like
Of course, they have
man?
not emotional. It's a little. They have not a lot of or a bunch people or a bunch man who can do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In our traditional family in Africa, when I give an example. When you are pregnant, it's our aunt, our not daughter, our grandmother, our mother who can give you what can I say, her experience
Mhm.
to talk to you, but men have not his place in that thing. It's today our traditional family is not the same when we saw with our mother, and also today you can see a man and a woman, they have a little family, the big family, or cannot say everything. I don't know how to say that in English really well.
uh i'm
uh
I'm not sure either whether I really
yes.
get uh the what
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to say, so I could unfortunately not help.
Mm-hmm.
So did you
Yes, of
mean
course.
that there is a sort of detachment of
Yes.
the household, like the
Yes.
family created by two spouses
to
and the
yes,
children from the broad family? Is that what you are saying?
of course, yes. Is that what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's different, like who our parents saw. It's very different.
Mm. Now, let me ask you one question. In your
Oh,
opinion,
yes.
if you had to say it in just one or two, or like I mean a few words, what makes a
Mhm.
household strong?
What makes a household communication
Mhm.
and emotional communication and emotional uh, participation and I don't know how to say that well in English. You know, before you want to take care of a child, you want to provide home, you could be emotional,
So you mean
you
emotional
could
support?
have emotional support. You could have an emotional base. If you haven't that, you could not do that really or very well.
Mhm. Okay, good.
Talk about emotional plant or have a communication is not, it is a taboo. I don't know how to, it at last at the time of our parents, it is a taboo.
Mm.
Everybody cannot talk that, this rule, you cannot go and take, you talk that with your mother, you cannot talk that with your husband, you cannot talk that with a man, you talk that with your mother, with your grandmother, they say that, this thing, we cannot do that. Anybody, they have a lot of taboo, but today, uh
Yeah, so there are those topics that were considered as taboos in old societies, old household from the generation of our parents, and
yes,
which you believe today there is people are more
more communication.
open-minded and there are more communication
Yes,
about those.
yes,
Okay, then I have two
that's why
follow-up
I'm saying.
questions.
Okay,
No, please go ahead. If
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So I had two follow-up questions for you, Vince's line, or also others who uh, might want to answer those questions. Vince's line, I appreciated what you said about communication and emotional support, which, in your opinion, are um, cornerstones of building a strong household, right? Now, as I said, I was surprised that you did not mention love. Does it mean that love doesn't matter, Mrs. Lion?
You can love someone, but love is not all the thing. You can love someone, but if you have not experience or to take care about this relationship, you can destroy this relation. Love is not all.
Okay. So you said something very critical, in my opinion,
Mhm.
which, which, which is you need to nurture your relationship for it to grow. It means that it's not a static, it's not still, it is dynamic and is um, it has to grow as well. And this aspect of growth was mentioned by Adeline, and I think that it is well aligned with what you just said. Now, my question to everyone now is, you said that before there there was no communication, there was no emotional connection between the spouses, but now so today basically there is more communication and the more emotional support, particularly from men, because you are a woman, and those are important points for you. But my question is, what I personally noticed is that the rate of divorce is way higher today than in the time of our parents, the one or two generations before us. How would you explain that in a world where there is more communication among spouses, there is more emotional support and involvement? So this technically and theoretically is supposed to lead to stronger relationships that are more stable. But okay, if so, why do we observe today that divorces have rocketed? Like the rate of divorce is very high, and particularly in the African diaspora abroad. But not only, actually, not only in the African diaspora, but more, from my observation, more in the Africans diaspora, but also increasingly in on the continent. How would you explain that? So this question is for everyone. So if you think you have a clue, please feel free to share your insight with us, because I'm still yet to find the answer to that question. Josué, Buchomeko?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Josué.
It's not about inferiority. In my opinion, nowadays, uh, our parent relationship, we we define it like a relationship between a slave and his master. And nowadays, we young people, we just want to try to break it. But for me, it's wrong because it's not about a relationship between a slave and his master. It's just that our parents in the couple define a role. and men and women are a, a role to play in the couple. And when we we respect, when each other respect that role, I think that is the thing that builds a strong relationship. But when we want to substitute our role, or we want to try to play the other role, that can create a kind of conflict between the people. And for me that is the most important factor of uh, divorce or of rupture in nowadays relations. That's what I think. Because we always try to substitute our role to the other role. And for me, especially when we talk about women rights, uh, yes, especially women rights, we think that our mother, our grandmother, they are they are not able to express their right in the couple, and they just always be like a, I don't want to say a tool, but our father don't respect them, and that's what we try nowadays to break. And I think that we do it in the wrong way, because the most important thing, as you said, is the communication, and that what's lack in all relation. And for me, if we have more communication in a couple, it will be better.
Hmm. Um, I should admit that I'm a little bit skeptical about your argue points because, well, if I follow you in what you are saying, you said that okay, in past relationships there was a relation of slave to master, and I think that
No, I don't say that. I say that that's what we try to show. Nowadays, we try to show that in the past relation, it's like a relation between slave and his master. Because in the past, women doesn't have any word to say. The men are the leader, and they they have all the authority. And it's like that women are slaves, but it's not that. And nowadays we try to show that in the past women are like slaves and they don't have any word to say. That's what I said.
okay, so well, it means that today the voice of women could be heard because we are breaking these paradigms. We are shifting from this uh, old school conception to a modern concept where women's right is respected, and so there is empowerment of women in the society within the household, so they could stand uh, for what they want, right? Okay, now in your opinion, who are the main person asking for divorce nowadays? Are there the women or the men?
uh, for me, I will say women.
Hmm.
Women because when they try to substitute their role, why they don't want to they when they want to share the same leadership role with men, that's what creates conflict. Because sometimes men are not always open-minded to let women be on the same step with them.
Mhm.
And sometimes women nowadays women doesn't always accept it, and for them the the, the solution is to leave.
So what did you mean by a step that, like, when you said that men do not accept women to be at the same step? What did you mean by step? You mean the same economic level, professional level? What did you mean exactly?
No, not economic or professional level. uh,
You mean authority within the house?
yes, authority, yes,
Mm,
that's what I mean.
okay. So would you say that there is a complex of men in the household accepting the women being the the person of authority in the household, or do you think that there is a complex of women within the household accepting the authority of the men, of their man?
Yes, nowadays there is a complex to accept the authority of a man, because we always speak about the woman rights,
Mhm.
and we we try to transpose it in the couple,
Okay.
and we sometimes for me it's like a misunderstanding, and it's like women and men in the couple will share authority, or there will be not any authority in the couple. And in that situation, there will be a problem in the couple, and one of them will leave.
Okay. Good. I heard you. So there seem to be a clash of authority in the household from what you you are saying, from what you said.
Yes, that's it.
Hmm. Okay. Buchomepo, um, Josue just said, according to him, there is a clash of authority within the household. While in the same time, Princess Line said people are more open minded in our generation, meaning that communication is easy, that there is a higher level of communication, and thereof, by extension, of understanding within the household. And On top of that, there is a deeper emotional support, emotional connection within the household, which, in my opinion, is at the opposite of a situation where there will be a conflict of authority. What are your thoughts about that?
Thank you very much. If I compare the now relation to the relation of our grandfather and grandmother, in the lifetime, our grandfather respectful, our grandmother be respectful, our grandfather have all of the power in the relationship. So now the women don't have this respectful for their men, or so the man is authority naturally. If the woman don't give the place of the man, it is very difficult to have the stability and the peace in the house.
So respect comes again, and that's why when I ask you what are the most important things that play a critical role in the strength of household, I think that some of you talked about respect, and we asked, for a man, what does respect mean? And I think Josue was the one answering that question. So, Buchomekpo, what is your understanding of respect? What are your expectations? Sorry, who talked?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Please. Okay. Mr. Mida.
Yes.
I want to say a little thing. Or we can do I don't know how to say it. You know that I'm not feminist. Before saying what I want to say, I just want to say in the men who are in this forum that I'm not feminist. I'm not defending any right of women in this forum, but I want to say something. One question, you know that they have what did they tell that? Contraceptive with man now. You know that it is just one example. You know that they have a contraceptive now for man.
Yes.
How many men in this forum can level up her hand to say that, oh, I want to do that? I saw the information about this contraception. I have a team of men who I grew with him, and I share this information with him. You know, the first answer of him, who could do that? Who will do that? It's me, or it's anybody of him want to do that? I say, you don't want to do that, but women can do that. We sacrifice ourselves in a couple. Mr. Josue tell at last time it is a relation like a slave and mother. But today, when we are young, our mother or our grandmother tell that my daughter, go at school, you will be a leader, you will be free. You know how did they told that about her daughter? Because emotionally they have no support in her couple.
Mhm.
They haven't voice. They had not voice to talk.
Mhm.
They had not voice to talk. And it's not to talk, but I'm a victim about that. Every time my mother told me about that. But today I'm seeing, when I see my relation with my father and the relation who he had with my mother, I say that I don't want to be in her place. He liked her, men like her wife, like a woman, but he liked her daughter, like her daughter, the relationship with one man, with her wife. And with her daughter or sister, it's not the same thing.
So, from what you are saying, you said,
I'm saying that. Mhm. I'm saying that to tell the one thing.
Mhm.
Man, sorry about what I want to say. Sorry, really sorry. Men really don't love women.
okay,
In Africa,
from
we have one vision. Women are there for do homework, take care of child, and that's of. But today they have transition, and that transition creates a lot of disorder, but slowly but surely we will arrive in a vision who man could help, really her wife could help really women, and I don't know how to say that, and they have another vision. Woman, I not say women right, we can go to school, we can do that. No, it is not that. But in a couple, we will have a man who have the governor, uh can be the the leader of his couple, and women can set out, or what, I don't know how to say that, can stay with men, and they have a I don't know how to say that,
okay,
a liberty and a
freedom. You mean freedom?
freedom. But freedom is not do anything you want, but in the way of your couple, in the way of your child, in the way of your family, really. That's what I want to say.
Okay, thank you, Princess Line, for
Yes.
sharing your insight. I think Josue wanted to say something.
Uh, yes, I just want to ask a question. Why are we always talking about victim? What do you mean by victim?
Okay, I'm talking about that because when my mother he see the relationship who I have with my father, he one day he told me that the way your father treats you, he never treats me like that.
Mm.
How
And
he
then
treats you, he
and then
never
your
treat me like that. And in past, when you are a woman and you are married with a man, your mother or your grandmother tell you, uh, it is an expression, uh, c'est pour la vie, eh? E mono ibono le kowa mo, nye idon ne kwe teto jijo, e no no e kombono supporte we mo. You are a slave or you are not a
Okay.
slave. You will stay with
Well,
this man.
please let me quickly translate it for Buchomepo and Adeline who
Okay.
do not understand that language. So she she was saying what she just said in one of the local languages of Benin is that a grandmother from the family said this is like a trip with no return. So if you go, you engage with
Okay. Yes.
someone, there is no way we won't accept that one day, whatever is happening, that you say, okay, well, I'm not into it anymore. So basically, that is it. It's I just try to translate the context, but
Thank you. Yes, that's what I want to say. You
mm,
have no return. You will stay there. If you are a slave or you are a princess or you are a queen, you will stay there, die there, and do everything there. Are you suffering or not? You will stay there. But today they have an emotional come in the relation, and if you are there you see that this man, ah, I did a wrong choice. You can go home and take care about you and level up your mind for be a better person.
okay,
But if last time you cannot do that, you stay there, you will die there.
okay. So well, I understood what you said. Thank you for sharing your insights. Um, how Josue, you want to?
Ti- yes, till now I don't have an answer of my question.
You don't.
Women
Don't
women
have
are
your
big
answer
they
because
are they
when
are victim of
I
what?
say me,
Yes, but
I'm
women
victim
are
of
victim
when
of
my
what?
mother, when I'm talking about me, I'm not talking about all women. When my mother see that my relationship with my dad is not the same relation who he had with her husband, he take me like adverse,
Like a challenger,
like a challenger, but I'm not her challenger. He said that you every time your dad take a bath, it is on a she is emotionally
so you were considered more like um a co-wife. I don't know even if the word.
not a co-wife, but one day she told me, your dad take care of you, but me, I'm there with him. I stay with him in 30 years, in 40 years, but he didn't treat me
Well,
like the way he treats you.
I think, I think that this is a particular um, situation.
He transports her damage, comment on dit douleur, her
Suffering or
her suffering to me, but he can't say to her husband, this thing you are doing with me, it's not good. I don't like that, because he's there, he supports everything.
well, Buchomepo, do you want to say something about that? About the position of Princess Line regarding men?
No, I'm not a position about the intervention of Vanessa Land. It is really how many women live in a couple. So it's not all. Uh,
Okay, thank you so much. So, for me, Princess Line, I think that from what you said, there are several things that I do agree with. For others, I do not fully share your point of view. And the first thing I want to say is that it is true when you said that women are the one who sacrifice. They make great sacrifices, right? For
I didn't say that though. I defending one point. I before begin I say that I'm not feminist. Men
hold on,
also suffer in relationship,
hold on.
but
Hold on, versus line. What I was saying is that I didn't say that I did not agree with that. I'm actually saying that what you said is right. That women, you give a lot to support your family. To this is sacrifice, right? And the greatest sacrifice, in my opinion, is giving birth. And that no man could do that, right? So this, in my opinion, is even the ultimate sacrifice. So what I'm saying actually is in support to that point that I fully agree with you when you said that as a woman, you make a lot of sacrifices for your family. That is a fact. And no one could deny that. And if someone, in my opinion, this is really subjective, right? But in my opinion, if someone denies that, it means that that person is not sincere, right? Because for me, it is common sense. You should, this is the minimum you should agree upon, right? And as you also said, men also contribute from their position. They may contribute as well to the family. So the way I see it, I'm not seeing it as a sacrifice, but I'm seeing it as a contribution. But now, the thing is, when in a relationship, and then I'm moving even from the strict context of a romantic relationship, even if it's in a business relationship or a friendship, when one of the partners is the one of the parties is the one giving too much but not getting proportionately to what is given, then there is an issue, in my opinion, irrespective of the type of the relationship. So if in a romantic relationship, you as a woman, you are the one giving too much and you earn virtually nothing or not enough back, I am saying that is not fair. And the same applies to friendship. If you are giving way too much and you are not getting proportionately enough in return, then it means that you are being used, that you are being used by others, even if they are friends or spouse. And that is when this notion of contribution become a notion of sacrifice. Why I'm saying that, remember that when the relationship starts, it's always by a common agreement. What I mean is you accept to date a woman or you accept to date a man. The man will propose to you and you decide, you accept to date that person. And so from the time you accepted without constraints that you want to date that person, normally should not be considered as a sacrifice, but as a contribution to your life together. But when that person fails to support, to contribute, I don't want to say equally, because it will never be equal. It will never be 50-50. But at least it should balance somehow, right? But if it is not balanced, it is hugely imbalanced. Like you are giving 90% of the total contribution and the other party is giving 10%, then you are being used, and this is sacrifice. But it's not supposed to be a sacrifice, because if you start a relationship saying, okay, I'm sacrificing myself, or I will sacrifice myself, I think you will never enjoy, or it will be difficult to enjoy the relationship. But my question is still, in a context where we assumed together now that people are more open-minded and they communicate more and there is this emotional support. So for me also, there is little room for being like of feeling being used. or sacrificing oneself for others. Now, the thing is, probably there are a lot of women who might be frustrated in the previous generations, our parents' generations, and because the social cultural norms and customs was not in favor of them talking or claiming or like expressing themselves. So most of them will keep quiet. But now, so this is really what I think, that even today, there are women who are unhappy in their relationship. There are also a lot of men who are unhappy in their relationship. But I still believe that in the past, there were also a lot of people who have been happily married, women who were happily married, who enjoyed really their relationship, and sometimes even those relationships were really fusional relationships, right? I am not pretending to know what is happening in any relationship, but still we could there are some references of people, at least from outside we could see that they are happy, right? But now what is happening inside, no one knows. This is also a reality. Now, why am I saying all that? I'm saying that because I have the feeling that the expectations of some people, men or women, do not match the expectations of their partners even before they start the relationship. And I think this is an important aspect of whether you build a stable relationship or not. How often or how many of people take the time to sit down and truly discuss about what are the expectations in this relationship? When you started dating your husband or your wife, did you take the time to discuss about what each of you is expecting from that relationship? Because if you don't have the same expectations, there will be misunderstanding. And I think that some of the problems start from misunderstanding. Like one partner doesn't know that he is hurting or she is hurting the other partner. And the other partner would feel like, okay, I'm not fulfilled in this relationship, but that his partner is not fulfilling him or her. But the thing is, does your partner know what you are really looking for? in this relationship. And I think this because I would say that I have the privilege of talking with people who had maybe over 10 years of relationships. And sometimes they will have challenges, they have this and that. And when one of the partner talk with me and I talk with the second partner, I realize that the problem is they do not have the same expectations. The vision is not the same. So here is how I define dating. For me, like, let's start by the household. For me, in the household, this is my conception. And it's really subjective, okay? But I think that in the household, even in a modern African context, the man is like the president, but the woman is the prime minister. And if you take government, you take, for instance, the United Kingdom, UK, they have the Queen, okay? The Queen is like the president, but they also have the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister is the one who is doing actually the work. So the president has a vision. And dating is like he is going to sell that vision to a woman. And the woman who buys this vision will start a relationship with him. Then, but the person who actually leads, who do most of the work is the woman. That is what I think. So I do not think that the role of woman is just cooking food, taking care of children, raising children, and no, that is not. I think that it is even more, because in most household, who is managing even the money of the household? It's not the man. Men don't know how to manage money. Let's be truth. Let's be realistic. Let's say what is real. As a man, as men, we don't know. Maybe we might know how to manage our business, but most of the time, the real person who is in control are the women. There is a concept that is called soft power. Soft power is so powerful, and that is why I think that women are the one in control. Sometimes some women are not aware of that. Sometimes some women are fighting for some power they already have. But sometimes also some men are just not, I don't want to say that word, but there is huge misunderstanding between people. So for me, knowing each other's expectations is very important. That is where real communication makes sense and should start. Because if you are together for the wrong reasons, are not going into the same direction. You don't share the same vision. You will communicate for days, but this will not make you feel not at your place in that relationship. So communication is critical. I totally agree with that. Respect is important. I agree with that. And I think that also having clear and realistic expectations and communicate those expectations to others is important. But doing it transparently and being telling the truth, right? Because if you lie to yourself, you won't go very far. So if you are a woman and you have a specific expectation, but the man you meet has a different expectation, like, or maybe you see that there is no match with your expectations, but you still want to stay, like to date that person, don't be surprised that 10 years later, maybe it will not work out very well, especially when the love from the beginning will vanish. Then that is where real life starts. And when real life starts, it is harder because love has vanished. And that's why sometimes you see people, they are married for 19 years, 20 years, 25 years. And then after that, they will get divorced. Someone I know told me that when their children, their last child, reached majority, the woman decided to leave, saying, okay, well, now the children are old enough, they are adults, so there is no more reasons for me to stay here. Could you imagine? So that is in the same line with what you said, Vince's line, like maybe that woman was just there silently, she was unhappy, and maybe for the children, she decided to stay. But I do know the man, and I know he's a good man. So what happened? Maybe they didn't have the same expectations. They did not have the same visions. But they did not fight, actually. There was no fight, no argument or something like that. It's just one day that the woman said, there is no more reason for me to stay because the children are adults now. So I'm going to leave. And that's how that relationship of several decades ended. So it means that genuine, deep communication about our expectations is important. If you do not share your expectation transparently, there is no way the other will know them and do what is possible to fulfill them and make you happy. The next thing is, there is a book I recommend everyone to read. That book is Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus. This is a great book. And when you read it, this is a book from John Gray, I think, if I'm not saying anything stupid. It's from John Gray. Okay? And this is a classic guide to understanding the opposite sex, because we don't perceive the world the same way. That is not only biological. It's not like it has nothing to do with sex, opposite sex, but it also has to do with psychology. This book, I strongly recommend anyone who want to understand the psychology and belief system, thinking system of the opposite sex to read it. It's a treasure. Believe in me. I read it and I understood a lot of things. It helps you to decrypt even behaviors of your partners. And sometimes we are totally wrong. When you think that your woman is angry after you for something, maybe it's not that. Or when in a situation you think that you want to give advice or you want to say something, while the only thing she needs is just someone to listen to her. When the only thing she needs is not solutions, but maybe this emotional support you talked about. But for men, it's totally different. So I say again, please read that book. Order a copy for your personal library. If you wish, I could share an electronic copy with you within the community if you really promise to read it. It's worth the reading. Believe in me. Or don't believe in me, but just try it. You understand a lot of things about your relationships, about expectation. What is your spouse expecting when he behaves one way, and when you do not understand it and you take it wrong? Not most, but a lot of the misunderstanding, the argument, all those things come from not even understanding the nature of the opposite sex, that we don't see, we don't perceive the world the same way. We should be complementary. Like I think Buchomekpo said that we need to complement each other to be stronger, not to fight within the household. Because unfortunately, if you have already started the family, you have kids, when you fight, you don't see the damages, but it affects your children. It affects the psychology, the emotion, the stability, the emotional stability. Not only that, it affects their future relationship, because they will not be free to live and enjoy their own relationship. They will live their relationship through the perspective of what happened among their parents. They will be every time in the defensive, even when things are not exactly, when their partner is not their parent, A man would rather treat a woman like his own mother in some situations, while a woman in some situations will treat her own husband like his father, because what she has been exposed to all the time, she will just generalize and think that, okay, this is what is gonna systematically happen. So that is what I wanted to say, that we do not fall within this, in this, risk of living others' life. Your parents are your parents. You are you. And I always say, my wife is different from my mother-in-law. They are not the same person. And she is different from my mother. They are not the same person. Each individual is unique. So when you focus on connecting deeply with your partner, I think that you will start opening doors you've never even thought existed. And I'm telling you that from experience. Of course, my experience could not be generalized, but still, I'm recommending you reading that book. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus, from John Gray. You could find it on Amazon. You can even have the KDP version, the electronic, the ebook version, or just reach out to me if you really want to invest the time in reading it. Then I would be glad to share a copy with you. So stay tuned. I don't know if you have any question, because before we close today's the discussions were interesting, but we ran out of time. So is there any question, any additional remark, a closing remark, something you want to share before we close today's session?
Me, I don't have any special remark, but I just understand one thing is that with time, love vanish, and we should learn how to live together when love is not there anymore.
Thank you, Josue. Actually, maybe I put it very wrong. Love will vanish if you don't nurture it. That this is, in my opinion, an important precision. It's not just something that happened once and then if you don't maintain it, will last forever. If you do not maintain it, it will not grow. It will vanish. And that is why I fully agree with what Adeline said about she used a word I couldn't remember anymore, but it's something like a mutual or collective growth or some. I can't remember exactly the term. She said something in the line of collective growth, going together, but it entails even more than simple growth. Because how do you grow? To be able to grow, if you plant a crop or a tree or a seed, for it to grow, it needs input. Input is important. You need to feed it. If you do not feed it, for sure, it will vanish. And what is feeding it? Feeding it is, for instance, listening carefully with attention when you are communicating with your partner. Listening not to respond, listening with empathy, not to judge, but to deeply understand. Because if you hope on a discussion, you listen half, and then you just pick a few keywords and you think that you understood it all, and you start judging, you start criticizing, you start giving advice, you will miss the main point. Often, listening is a quality. Today there is, even if you go on LinkedIn and or on online learning platforms, there is something that it is called active listening. And they will teach you how to listen actively. Because if you are unable to listen, you could not lead better. And I'm saying it again, leadership is important in all aspects of our life. Leadership is not for a man, it's also for women. Because when you understand those leadership roles, you will be able to better understand the other, to make better use of your emotional intelligence to solve sometimes very complex situations where other people will just ignite a fire, right? So it's important also to be tolerant and patient, and not be fast or maybe too quick in blaming the others. It's important to really understand before judging or criticizing. How many times have you found yourself judging a situation where you did not have all the information and missing an important information, and just making the wrong decision or the wrong conclusion, and later on realize that you were wrong because you did not listen with attention? A lot of people just listen to argue, to respond, not to understand, because the other might not use the more appropriate words depending on his background. But if you listen carefully with attention, sometimes what the person is communicating, if you just have to base your conclusion on the words themselves, maybe you will not get it. But when you really listen and you consider the thing as a whole, then you could then better understand. And a last thing is that a household or a relationship, a couple, is a team. It means that you need to have team spirit. If the other fails, it's not the other who is failing. As a team, you are failing. If the man fails, it's going to affect the whole family. Your team is failing then. If the woman fails, you are also failing all. And there are studies that have proved that when in a household, everyone go together, the woman goes as well. What you get as benefit is way more important than if the man is the only person in that household that is having success. But this is also to be put in a specific context, because there are situations where, and this I think we will discuss about that another day, where some women, of course, this is marginal, right? This is a minority of the women who will succeed, and then from the time they succeeded, and sometimes even they succeeded more than the man. Then I would say the behavior will change. There are also those situations, and so it's very complex actually. I think each situation is unique, and that there is no I would say overall there is no advice or something like that is all in one, like it's a single advice that will work for everyone, right? So that's it. Okay, Princess Slide, do you have anything to add to?
I think that if all men can have your reflection, your mindset, every couple could be all right. And I want to talk about one book who are also good. Whatever name is What I Want to Know Before I Get Married.
And who?
I read that. I forgot. I will research and I will write you about that. If I saw that, if I see that, I will share with you, and you can share with everybody who are here, everyone who are here. It's also nourish our mindset to develop better idea about couples. And that's good.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Uchomeko? Do you want to say something?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
I thank everyone for all the ideas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Adeline. I'm not sure if you could speak now.
Yeah, let me try. There were so many. I learned so many things concerning the topic. Thank you. I thank all the contributors, and also Dr. Maida for this initiative. It's really wonderful. Although today I was not really able to interact, but it's okay. Next time, as I told you, I am moving. So
Good.
thank you so much.
You are most welcome. So, a few key points before we close. We explored today what makes African households strong, emphasizing sustainable happiness, mutual respect, communication, and shared vision. Right. So, today, traditional gender roles and evolving dynamics were debated, highlighting challenges like authority clashes and the rising divorce rate, despite increased emotional support in our open-minded society today. And the importance of nurturing love, understanding expectations, and active listening, where we talked about that too. So here are a few key points. The first one is there is a strong, a strong household is defined by sustainable happiness, continual growth, mutual respect, and shared vision between partners. So, regarding traditional African roles, it's evident that still today, a lot of people think women manage home, children, and support their husbands, while men provide financially and lead, though emotional support was historically limited. I think that we are in a world where there is a need of change of I would say a better understanding of the dynamics and how the opposite sex perceive the world. And I recommended that the book Men Are from Mars and Women Are from Venus from John Gray is a good material to write. Now, respect, the concept and the definition of respect is not very clear yet. What respect means for men is not what it probably means for women, but the reality is that often men expect it without reciprocating it regarding the woman, which reflects somehow so I would say an old school cultural and educational influences. Now, despite more communication and emotional involvement today, divorce rates have increased, especially in the African diaspora. And this is possibly due to mismatched expectations and authority conflicts. Now, love. Love was noted as important, but it's not sufficient alone. It's important to nurture love and to clearly communicate again of expectations, which is critical for relationship longevity. So I thank you sincerely for joining today. The discussion, it was really insightful. I did learn a lot as usual. I wish you a very nice and productive week ahead, and yeah, see you next Sunday, same time, for also some thought-provoking discussions. Bye
Thank you,
for
sir.
now. Bye bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
Have a good night.
Have a good night too.
Have a good night too.